here with Helen Girton of Alfred Truman Solicitors talking about lasting power of attorneys. Helen, how do I actually go about making a lasting power of attorney?
Well, it's done by form, by application to the Office of the Public Guardian. The form is set down by the Mental Capacity Act, and the contents of it have been set down by the Mental Capacity Act. Basically, you just have to complete the form with your details, your attorney's details, but there are other options within the form as to how the attorneys are to act, whether together or separately. You can put guidance and restrictions in the form. You have to have a certificate provider, somebody you have to give notice to, and attorneys. And all of those people have to sign the form.
Okay, so if I just go and fill out a form, is it possible to make mistakes? Can you have a form rejected?
Oh yes, you can have a form rejected for a number of reasons. Basically, everybody has to sign the form in a strict order, and attorneys can't sign the form unless both the person giving the form has signed and the certificate provider, and things can be rejected if the dates are in the wrong order. That's perhaps the simplest mistake to make, but you still have to decide if you have more than one attorney whether you want them to act together and independently. Mistakes can be made as far as that's concerned, and there are actually some restrictions on how attorneys can act, and forms can be rejected if you've not quite got that right either.
So the process, if there's anything unusual in your life, could turn out to be quite complex.
It could. You can actually have more than one lasting power of attorney to deal with different aspects. For instance, if you have a business, you can have one set of attorneys appointed to deal with that business, and somebody else appointed to deal with other affairs. But then you have to make sure you haven't got any conflict within two separate documents. So that can be a little complicated.
Yeah, I can see that would become quite complicated. So if I was thinking today, maybe I should get a lasting power of attorney, but I feel a bit daunted by the process, what would you recommend to someone?
Well, I would recommend you go to see a solicitor. It can be a bit daunting. The forms are not wonderfully simple, and I have had people come to me having attempted to complete the documentation but found it easier to have it all explained to them. I mean, it's not just one document. You have to apply to have the lasting power of attorney registered with the court once you've signed it all. So there's an application form, and then there are notices that also need to be filled in and go out.
So, providing you know what you're doing, it's not overly complicated. But if you're new to doing this thing, it becomes quite a complex
particularly
process.
if you have a concern about filling in forms. I think there's quite a large number of people that do get a little bit daunted by forms.
Well, I'm one of those.
Yes.
So yes. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Helen. And if you'd like help with your lasting power of attorney, call Alfred Truman Solicitors now on 0800 542 3266.